This week on Moto Man, we meet a Canadian living in California, designing Japanese sports cars, and has a thing for sharks. I used to be a huge Japanese sports car fan. In fact, I own two, the RX-7 and the Supra, and I love them both. I never completed the trifecta and bought the Z. The funny thing is, the Z is the last man standing out of the three of them. Now, we have a 2010 convertible, and in getting to know this car, I've gotten to know the story behind this iconic Japanese sports car, and why it's still alive. Here's a hint, it has something to do with the good old US of A. And not for the reasons that you think. Let's find out how. Driving new cars is really cool, but going back to where they're born, now that's Moto Man. So now we're at Nissan Design America, where this car was born. Let's go in and meet some of the people behind it. Let's meet the Grand Poobah of Nissan Design America, Bruce Campbell. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for hosting us here. This is a fantastic facility you got.
Well, thanks.
So what we wanted to find out a little bit about is Nissan Design America. What do you guys do here? And walk me through some of the cars that actually came out of here.
Sure. Well, we're part of a global group. We were really charged to be the eyes, ears, and hands for the design for products here in the Americas. And that's how it started. Because at that time, there was a very wise Japanese head that discovered that most of the product is being sold in North America. So why not have the influence of non-Japanese designers doing the actual design of the cars here.
The Nissan 370Z, most people would tell you, is a Japanese car. But the company is actually very proud to say that it was created under a global collaboration. But I found out an interesting tidbit. The concept of this very car you see here was designed right here in America, in the California Republic. And we've actually got the guy who penned it himself. Let's welcome Randy Rodriguez.
Hi, man.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So, I'm looking at you and you look like you're 10 years old. And you got a car that you designed here. That's gotta be amazing. It's gotta be a great feel.
Yeah, it's a total dream come true. Yeah, just my whole life I've been sketching cars, and my first car was a Datsun, so. So
you actually did have a Datsun. What kind of Datsun? For those of you who don't know, Datsun was the name of Nissan before it became Nissan.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
I had a 280Z when I was 14 years old.
So your first car was actually a Z? You're not lying to us. You're not making this up.
I've had about 10 Z cars my whole life.
Really?
So yeah, my family is a total Datsun Nissan family, and it's one of the big reasons why I wanted to work for Nissan. So
how do you go from being a kid in Canada that had a Z as his first car to standing here with me with a car you designed that has a Z badge on it?
My parents really wanted me to be a doctor. So you know, after high school, I went to
a doctor of sorts.
Yeah, I went to university to study that sciences, and you know, I realized that if I'm going to be happy in this life, I got to really follow my heart and do what I want to do, and that was to design cars. You know, after that, I left school and for a couple of years just worked like everywhere, gas stations, like digging ditches, just to save up money to go to design school.
I mean, your dad's a mechanic, and he can point at every new Z that comes out and say, "My son actually did that."
Yeah, yeah.
It's got to be totally cool.
Yeah, they're pretty funny about it. Like my mom carries a magazine with me in it, and shows people and stuff.
So she doesn't have pictures of her grandkids in her wallet; she has pictures of a Z.
Yeah, she has a picture of a Z.
Now that's a good mom.
Zs are special. They really are. And
and speaking of specials, how did you get a kid that his first car was a Z to actually design the Z?
Randy is a good example of the people that we actually employ here at Nissan Design America.
Is there some like program that people should know about 14-year-olds that you're giving away Zs to kind of the farm team?
It's simply, we hire the top of the class. We hire the people with the most talent and the most passion.
Okay.
These people are passionate about design.
So now let's talk about Zs as it relates to Nissan Design America. Walk me back from 240Z forward. How much input have you guys had on the Z brand?
Okay. Well, obviously, 240 was the first iconic sports car for Nissan.
Yeah.
It really gave us the ownership of that letter Z.
Okay.
So that's where it really all started.
Okay.
And I think everybody knows how that 240 kind of migrated to a sporty car. What happened after the 300 was the Z was really slated to die. That moment was just about the same moment as the alliance between Renault and Nissan. Funny thing, Mr. Gone was taking his the Gimba tour, the tour that he did of all of the facilities when he started. He came into our facility. We were working undercover of a kind of a counter proposal that we thought it was a crime to lose that letter Z. We had a small concept that was roughly a contemporary 240.
Yeah.
He simply saw that, and at that time he says, but of course we're going to do this. We'll continue this. So the Z was
So in the case of the French and the Americans worked well together.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So the Z was reborn.
So Statue of Liberty and Z all came from Franco-American relations.
Again, the short story is from that moment the Z was reborn, and we were really starting to create the 350, which was, we had internally a debate, a big debate. How much retro heritage design, how much modern design should it be?
Okay, so let's talk about your car here. So from what I understand, you're the one that penned the concept for the latest Z.
Yeah, I've been drawing Zs my whole life, and when they asked us to do the 370, the replacement for the 350, they wanted it to be a super evolution, and the concept was a erotic mechanism. So
erotic mechanism.
Yeah. Yeah, they.
So a very corporate Japanese company said to you, we want erotic mechanisms.
Very erotic.
I'm going to borrow that material. I'm sure I could find a place I could use it. Anyway,
you can probably pull up some nice imagery on that. But I was watching actually Discovery Channel, Shark Week, and I got a lot of.
I love Shark Week.
I totally love it.
Love Shark Week. I can tell you for many years I've been watching Shark Week, and I have never thought I'm going to design a car based on Shark Week. I've got a thing for big cats, and I watch big cat shows hours on end, and I have never thought, you know what, I'm going to design something based off that cat. What's it like when you walk through a parking lot and you actually see these cars here?
Yeah.
Is it like a proud papa kind of?
Yeah, it's totally like, when you're a designer and you work on something, it's totally your baby.
Yeah.
And when you draw something, it's really cool. But when you actually see something, on the road or something physical, it's, you can't really express in words how you feel.
To be honest, a great designer never turns it off.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting that a Japanese company that actually has some French ownership has a significant amount of input from America for their designs. That's a lot to say.
And that's what coming to work every day keeps it fun. It really, it's about collaboration, and it's about this, there's a clash that happens. Can you just imagine French, Japanese, and Americans?
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's just
that's like a beginning of a joke. A French guy, a Japanese guy, and an American walk into a bar. I got to say, it's very exciting for us to come and meet with you, because we love the cars and we spend time with the cars, and you'll definitely see that we have a fun driving with these cars. But to get to hear the background, the backstory that Carlos Ghosn, who's a kind of a larger-than-life figure, came through and actually said, we got to pull this thing from obscurity and make this thing a car, really is a treat for us. And from what I'm seeing, you guys take some time off and they play volleyball in their sand volleyball court right on the facility.
Yeah, yep.
It's a good life. When can I start? I used to draw cars in my notebook.
Send your CV and resume.
I will do that.
All right.
Bruce, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm going to say thank you for joining us on Moto Man.
Thanks, Moto Man.
I really appreciate it, and thank you. I can't say congratulations enough. I mean, the fact that you had a Z car as your first car, and then this is what you're designing now. When I grow up, I want to be this guy.
Yeah.
Only in the California Republic. Now this is living life. Literally driving a brand new 370Z convertible and going and meeting the guys responsible for it. And the life that kid has, 31 years old, rides 2 motorcycles, has a Z that he designed himself, and works in that place with a sand volleyball court in the back. Jeez! And I thought I had a good gig. Closest thing that I came to something like that at college was doing an internship building BMWs. I was a factory line worker. See, kids, your mother is right. If you really put your mind to it, you can be anything you want in life. Randy gave me his business card as we were walking out the door, and all it says is designer. What it should say is living the dream. Randy's story tells us 2 things. Number 1, if your kid even shows an inkling to the rust bucket sitting in the driveway, encourage him. And number 2, make sure he watches Shark Week a lot. The Z is more than an iconic sports car. It's a handful of people that have kept it alive for the past 40 years. Everyone from the French-Lebanese guy that said, "We must build this," to the Canadian kid that worked on a beat-up 280Z 17 years ago. That's why this iconic Japanese sports car is actually more than just Japanese. On the weekends, this is for enthusiasts to speed. Even the California Highway Patrol stays away from here. Oh, hey now. That's a bad day at the office. That's a very bad day at the office. How you doing? How you doing? Oh boy, this is a bad day at the office. It's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. Yeah, we don't like stop signs. See you later. Encourage him. And number 2, I'm gonna... See, of course, a Prius driver has to beep at me for driving too fast. And oh man, we got some air there. Woohoo! That's the Japanese version of good old boys. My grandmother used to say, "Stay away from the bad kids. The bad kids will get you in trouble." Well, now I'm hanging around with the bad kids, and look, Grandma, I'm driving 60 miles an hour around corners I should be doing 30. Hopefully the police eye didn't see that.